What's going on, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video on part number 25 of the MotoGP 25 career mode, round number 3 today of the Moto2 World Championship for the American Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas. If you missed the last episode a couple of weeks ago now, I do recommend you go back and check it out, and also check out the season opener at the Thai Grand Prix to kind of find out how the season has been going so far, because it has been a while since we jumped into the Moto2 World Championship. But today we're here for the third round of the season, and we are forced to go through Q1 for the American Grand Prix after a difficult Friday at COTA in the wet conditions, it must be said, on Friday, so no real useful running either for the Moto2 World Championship riders. And we've got to go through Q1 along with Navarro, Escridge, Guevara, Dixon, Agius, Arenas, Lopez, Salak, Cooney, Arbolino, and a couple of others there as well, as we cross the line to start our first flying lap in Q1. 10.5 minutes on the clock. Let's see what we can do as we climb up towards turn number 1, the big climb up to a hairpin corner at the top of the hill. And as we hit the apex of turn 1, we lose the front and we go down on our first flying lap in qualifying. And you can see, not happy with that, the frustration as we lose the front stupidly at the top of the hill. Onto our second lap and the second go of things, and it will be our first of 3 laps I think we'll squeeze in here as we head up towards the first corner. No dramas this time, and we're safe to get through. And now we can try and piece together the rest of the lap as we head through turn 2. The downhill right-hander coming back down all those meters that you climbed up at turn number 1. You come back through, and then it's a relatively flat run through turns 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way through to the end of sector 1, where we'll get the first look at where we are on this lap. Now it's a personal best, and it's a personal best second sector as well, as we skip later on in the lap through the go-kart section of the track, the Mickey Mouse section of turns 13, 14, 15. Just getting in a little bit hot there on the brakes as we head through turn 15. As Screech comes up the inside, we switch back him. He's actually coming to the end of an out lap, so I don't know how telling that is for our lap that we're on here, if we're being passed by a rider on an out lap, but not too promising as we head through turn 17, 18, and then down into 19, the penultimate corner, a left-hander, and then right up on the curb. Final corner, in a little bit deep, miss the apex, the Screech sticks his nose in, and we come to the line, and it's going to be a 2 minute 6.876, which is a good second and a bit off Tony Arbolino's session topping time. As we head through turn number 1, we take a little bit more risk this time through turn 1 after the crash on the very first lap, but we are down on time. But as we skip on later on in the lap, we've gained up, we picked up a little bit of time, we gained some time, a little bit wide, a little bit of a later apex to try and get the drive down this extremely long and undulating straight. You see it rises up over the top here, and then it dips back down in the middle, and then it's all about spotting the braking zone, a very heavy braking zone at the end of this one. On the brakes now, and the bike will hop, skip and jump its way into turn number 12. We just about get it stopped, get it slowed down, hit the apex, get it stood back up, get on the power, and now we try and run our way through turns number 13 as a Screech goes down behind us. He crashes. He was gaining a lot of time and a lot of distance on us and meters on the brakes, losing the front. A Screech goes down at turn 12, but now through this long 16, 17 right-hander once again, we need to try and just maximise the drive out of here, because from here to the exit of the corner is all about getting the drive into the penultimate corner, which we missed last time, so we can hit the apex, which we don't, but it was a little bit neater than the last lap. We gain a little bit of time, and now it's the run through the final corner, which again wasn't great the last time, and it's not great again. Pushing deep in the middle of the corner to the line. It's going to be a 7/10 improvement, and it's 10th in this session, and we've got one more go at it, but unfortunately it's not enough. It's going to be P10 in Q1. We are out of qualifying, and it's going to be I think that with my maths, the 24th place start for the American Grand Prix. Both of the Mark VDS bikes struggling as well, with Salak and Dixon 7th and 8th. But going into Q2, it's Arbolino, Albert Arenas, Alonso Lopez, and the VR46 bike of Izan Guevara. But as we move now into the race at the Circuit of the Americas in Texas, overcast conditions for the Moto2 World Championship, 19-degree air temperature, 26-degree track temperature, so not overly warm track temperature conditions, which might actually favour us, because if you're a player of the MotoGP game or you've been following along with the series, you'll know that the Moto2 season is broken in career mode. The tyre temperatures are broken. The straight line speed can be broken. So the cooler temperatures might actually help us when it comes to tyre life here at the American venue. Pole position, Tony Arbolino on pole. The man who qualified in Q1, got himself through to Q2, and he's put his OnlyFans American racing bike on pole position ahead of Aaron Canet on the speed up, and rounding out the front row is Marcos Ramirez on the Honda Team Asian bike. So good qualifying for him. Our teammate heads row 2 with Arenas and Barry Baltas completing that second row as we head towards lights out at the American Grand Prix. The lights are on in Texas. We're looking up towards turn number 1, and it's lights out and away we go. It is not a good start from ourselves again. A traditional poor start, but it's not a good start really for a couple of rows in front of us. We managed to make up a couple of positions on the way into turn number 1, getting on the brakes, slotting our way through, and it's going to be P11 as Guevara goes down on the outside of turn 1. So Guevara, the man who managed to get into Q2, he's crashed out, involving Senna Adrius and Zonta van der Gorberg and Colin Via as well. So he's been involved in the incident. We're trying to get ahead of Celestino Vietti on the Dynavolt Intact bike. He's battling hard with, I think that's Alonso Lopez and Sergio Garcia as well. So as we head through turn 7 towards the end of that first sector, and then picking up the throttle at turn 8, and then flick it back left over the hilltop for turn 9. We get a big slide from the rear end as we try and get the power down. Not ideal coming over the top there. And as we head down towards the hairpin for the first time, it is Tony Arbolino who maintains the lead. Canet second with Theron Vietti up the inside. A neat little move up the inside of him. He was caught napping with the Constantina effect of the hairpin ahead, and he was caught napping there, left a gap. We're through, but it's coming back at us because we were hit by a little bit of a speed glitch as we head down towards the hairpin. Canet was looking at Arbolino for the lead of the race, but no way through for him as we are trying to get in turn and move on Sergio Garcia, but no way through on the Spaniard for now. The man who led the race as we look to the inside. There's a bit of contact there with Garcia, the man who led the way in the real-life American Grand Prix last season in 2024, and I'm pretty sure he emerged victorious despite hitting a false neutral at that corner that we got through on Vietti. But Garcia, he manages to hang on just about, and now we're going to look for a bit of a switchback, try and get a run through this Triple Apex right-hander, maybe line up a move into one of the final two left-handers. Are we going to get a move on Garcia? We're a little bit too far back as we've got Fawless further behind. Dixon down as well. Aegis involved in another incident. He's out of the race, as well as Colin Via as we head through this final corner. Dixon's been given a long lap penalty, so I don't know what's happened further behind, but Dixon has been given a long lap penalty in this Moto2 race as we now look to the inside of Garcia at turn 1. Arbolino's crashed out of the lead. We have to bail on our overtake because the yellow flags are out at turn 1. Garcia says thank you and hangs on to 8th position, but Arbolino, who has rejoined the race, by the way, right behind us in 10th, has crashed out of the lead, and that gives Aaron Canet the lead. Marcos Ramirez is now second, and Diogo Moreira, our teammate, currently rounding off the podium as we get the move done on Garcia. We lined that one up to perfection. A little bit of contact as we brushed his right shoulder, but we do get through, and we're up into P8, and we can see if we can now go after Lopez and then Garcia's teammate Ivan Altolia, who currently rounds out the top 6, but Garcia straight back underneath us there at the corner where we had a bit of a moment on lap number 1, but we hang it round the outside. We lean on the Spanish rider, and we do finally maintain 8th position. But as we head into turn 11, no way through for Garcia. I was half expecting him to come through, but we run out onto the green. We don't get the best exit in the world onto the back straight. We're going to move over and let the riders come through because I think we've been hit with the speed glitch maybe as we head down towards the hairpin. No, we're all right on this occasion on the brakes, and we do maintain 8th position, but we're in a little bit hot. We get the bike hop, skipping and jumping. We run wide at the end of the back straight, and Garcia says thank you, and Arbolino, the early race leader, says thank you as well and goes the long way round of us. We're going to try and hang on though. No way through there from Garcia. We look to the inside though. We pick up a track limits warning. No way through, and we have to settle for 9th position in that fight and relinquish that top 8 place to Sergio Garcia, and let's live to fight another day and have a go later on in the race, as the sun starting to poke through here at COTA. Garcia in 8th, we're 9th, Arbolino 10th, and then it's Celestino Vietti just outside that top 10 on the Dynavolt bike. He's got for company as we go for a big look to the inside of Garcia. I was just about to say that Vietti is keeping company by David Alonso, who we're about to see come flying into shot because we've been hit by the speed glitch. And you can hear, as we cross the line, the revs bounce all the way up as it resets itself. It's just so frustrating, this game, when you get hit by that speed glitch and you just, well, you're just a sitting duck. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight as we switch back up the inside of Arbolino, who had a power wheelie out of turn 1, had to just settle it all down, and then we, in turn, just sliced our way through at turn number 2. But yeah, annoying when we get hit by that speed glitch, because you can lose a good handful of positions through no fault of your own, really, and that's the case there. But it is Garcia in 8th, Vietti in 9th, and we can finally take a breather and look back at what happened in the early stages of this race. So this is the crash with Ethan Gurvara in the middle of the screen. He gets run into the back of there by Colin Via on the Fantic bike, unfortunately for him, going down. Now this was the incident with Dixon and co. Yeah, Via goes down, Dixon goes down, I think he hit the bike. And then this is what happened with Tiger Tony at the front. He goes down at turn number 1. But that incident, I dare say, it was actually started by us, because we was giving Garcia the position back because we kind of barged him out of the way, as we now look at our teammate on lap number 3 taking the lead of the race. So he's worked his way ahead of Ramirez, and now he's through on Aaron Canet at the end of the back straight. He loses the front a little bit as he picks the throttle up, but no drama for him, and he's through and up into the lead of the American Grand Prix. So Diogo Moreira on the Italtrans bike leading the way, Canet second, Ramirez third, then it's Albert Arenas and Barry Bautas, I think, rounding out the top 5 as it stands, as we head on towards our POV on lap number 3 at the same part of the circuit and through this long triple right-hander. But yeah, I dare say that incident at turn number 15 was actually caused by us, because we were letting Garcia back through because we kind of barged him at the first of the right-handers, and then as we were switching back and cutting underneath Garcia on the exit, it all just kind of concertinaed up, and there was a bit of contact further back, which resulted in a crash for Via, a crash for Dixon, and a long lap penalty for Jake Dixon as well. As we now start that climb up towards turn number 1 for the 4th time, we look up the inside of Arbolino, who, just like us, is a little bit cautious into turn number 1 after he crashed in this race. We crashed at qualifying in that very place, but just like a lap ago, we get the run. We catch the inside curb though. We caught the inside curb, and we have to just back out of that one. And Arbolino lives to fight another day, hangs on to P10, and actually Vietti has worked his way up to 8th position as well. So Vietti starting to move forward in this race. We're still hanging on though, just on the cusp of that top 10 as we get very close to the back of Arbolino, taking a lot of inside curb at the end of the start of the second sector, but no way through on Arbolino, who is now going to try and refine that pace that he had at the start of the race and work his way through and try and clear the duo of Garcia and Vietti, and that gives him clear track then to the top 7 ahead as we bounce over the curve at turn 11, get on the power, stand it up as early as possible down the back straight, trying to get in the slipstream, just a little bit of anything to try and hang on ahead of David Alonso, who is coming like an absolute steam train. He flies on through. We dip back into the slipstream. We get on the brakes. We've surely outbroken ourselves there, though. As we get on the brakes, we do run a little bit wide. Not quite as wide as I was expecting to go. Alonso, the patience pays off, and he's through and into P11. We're down to P12, and now we've got Darren Binder behind us. And I think that's Adrian Huertas on the CF Moto bike as well, looking for a couple more points on his 2026, technically, scorecard as we head through the triple right-handers once more. But moving on to what is the final lap of the race. From there, we've struggled to stay with the guys ahead. They've been putting a couple of tenths on us each lap. And David Alonso, as we have another big moment, we may as well end the race with the same moment that we had on lap 1, haven't we, over the top of turn, what would that be, turn 8, as we now head into turn number 11, over the curb, getting on the throttle. And if you look ahead, Tony Arbolino's not really been able to make any progress since hitting that 10th place. He's still behind Vietti and Garcia, Arbolino, and then Alonso just outside that top 11. But it looks like, at best, it's going to be P12 for us as we get on the brakes into turn 12. We are way wide on the brakes. We got it completely wrong. Huerta says thank you very much. Binder's trying to get a piece of the action as well. We're then hot into turn 13 with the engine braking, pushing the rear. We cut back up the inside of Binder. Binder's going to then cut back up the inside of us, but Suzuki's trying to get involved as well. There's no way through for DB, and now Dennis Onchu, the man who was leading last time out in Argentina before crashing on the final lap with a comfortable lead, as there's contact with Binder, who cuts his way through. We get on the power, we lose the rear, and it's all happening here. We get a switch back, we slide our way through up the inside of Binder. We run a little bit wide, but we get away with it. We must have still had a part of the tyre on the curb. As we come out the final corner, it's a dramatic end to the American Grand Prix, but it is 3 points for 13th place. And it's not quite the result that we wanted, but after starting from 24th or whatever it was on the grid, I would happily take a couple of points at the end of that one. But it's Diogo Moreira, our teammate, victorious. He wins ahead of Aaron Canet and Alberto Arenas. Baltasar Ortola 5th, Ramirez in 6th, and then it was that battle of Vietti, Garcia, Arbolino, Lopez. Then it was Huertas, myself, Binder, and Onchu in there as well. Canet leads the way still, but it's only 1 point difference between him and our teammate Diogo Moreira. Lopez down to 3rd, Arenas up to 4th though after a strong result for the Spaniard, and Vietti rounding out the top 5. We maintain our place inside the top 10 in 8th, and the Etal Trans Racing team continue to lead the Moto2 Teams Championship. But there we go, another race done and dusted. It wasn't the prettiest race, it wasn't the easiest race either. It was a difficult one in COTA, but hopefully next time out in Qatar, which is traditionally a very difficult circuit, especially in the Moto2 Championship, because the AI are absolutely on smoke around the Qatari venue. But that's our season so far. A P4 to open proceedings in the Chang Thai Grand Prix. 6th place last time out in Argentina, and the worst result of the season, and our first result outside that top 10 coming in COTA with a P13. What will Qatar bring? We'll have to wait and see. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and I will see you with round number 4 for part number 26 in the MotoGP career mode very, very soon. So till then, thank you for watching, and goodbye.